Ooh, we are live. Dun, dun, go Misha, go Misha. Hey
Go,
Misha, hey
go.
Misha girl. Hey Misha girl. Hey, hey, hey Misha girl.
That every time. Uh,
I know. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good. Today is Saturday.
Today is Saturday.
I am in Vegas for as you can tell, Beyonce'd
Oh,
out. Okay.
I just realized I have that scarf. I got that from my Houston show.
Hmm.
I should have worn it. I thought about wearing it. Actually, you should have told me. Anyways.
We could have been twinsies.
Funsies. Yes, ma'am. So
Oh,
let's see. Are folks joining? Angeline's in the house.
hey Ange. I see Jess. Hey Jess.
Hey, girl.
Ooh.
And
Happy Saturday, y'all. Wherever you are. Good morning if you're on the West Coast or even Central Time. Good afternoon if you're on the East Coast.
yeah, shout out to the
Greetings.
folks who are up and at it on the West Coast. I do appreciate if you're joining at 9 a.m. And I appreciate you, Taylor, for joining at 9 a.m.
Oh,
I
thank you.
my
Thank you,
boundary is not
Kelly.
that.
Girl, let me tell you, my alarm went off at 7 a.m. this morning. I was like, oof, we doing it. All right, we doing it. We
We're
waking
doing
up.
it. We're up. He got us up, so we gotta get to it.
Period. Period. Okay.
Yes,
Good morning, Jess. All right, you ready to get started?
let's do it. Let's get into it.
Okay. Well, hello, beautiful people. I'm Taylor Chanel.
And I'm Misha Battiste.
If you're new here, welcome. This is our monthly space where we keep it real, get reflective, and explore what it means to live life on your own terms. If you're returning, welcome back to the family.
Thank you so much. We're so glad you guys are here. We kind of discussed the time zones, but drop in and let us know where you're coming from. I know we got family all over the place. I got people in New Orleans, DC, New York. Where y'all at? Let us know.
All
um,
over the place.
I know. And we got people in Vegas. But last month, we discussed that self care isn't selfish, and we got into the nitty gritty of what that looks like. So I'm wondering, Taylor, what did you do last month, or even in the past couple of weeks, that you consider self care for yourself?
Oh, girl, I've been reading. I've been on my reading kick. So I have a goal to read 50 books before the year is up. And I just finished my 30th.
Girl, I think I'm about to finish one, and I'm really proud of myself.
Come on. Come
Well,
on.
really
Come
proud
on.
of you. So
Uh,
you finished your 30th book?
I just finished my 30th book last night.
So that's 20 more to go. You got that. That's
20
light
more
work.
to
That's
go.
light work.
20 more to go. What else have I been doing? A couple of weeks ago, I got a massage while I was in DC, and I've been working out, trying to eat better. Um, yeah, that's what self care has been looking like for me. Some walks.
Very good. Some hot
Mm-hmm.
girl walks. You were on the
Some hot
beach,
walks.
which
Yeah.
me and Taylor, when we were in our coaching relationship, we talked a lot about what makes her feel good, and a lot of that is being near water. So it's be like, you need to get into
Mm-hmm.
to go near water soon, girl. So she
Mm-hmm.
posted Wednesday or Thursday with her being on a beach.
Thursday.
Thank you, sister.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing up for yourself.
Thank
Um,
you. Look at me.
On my end, self care has looked a little different. I have been trying to have more fun this year because famously for the last couple of years, I have just been in my house. Like, that's what I be doing. So
Okay.
I went to Houston for Cowboy Carter's concert. 2 weeks
Mm.
ago, I went to see Ashanti and
Come on.
Mario and Drew Hill. So I got to see Cisco perform a thong song,
That
which was
thong,
very
thong,
important
thong,
to me.
thong. Hey, hey.
And then tonight I'm going to see Keisha Cole with my sister-in-law. So I'm just trying to
Hey.
have fun. But then also, you kind of put me onto essential oils a bit more. So I have been using essential oils to like spray like lavender onto my linen before I go to sleep, or
I love that.
go into meetings, like I smell into like an anti-stress essential oil. So
Hmm.
those are the little ways that I've been like, taking care of little Misha.
I love that. I love that. That's I'm gonna
Yes.
start spraying lavender on my pillow so I can have a good, well rested sleep.
Yeah, you do
That
feel good
has
about
inspired
yourself.
me.
Do it.
Okay, so all right, y'all. This month's theme is one that that can feel tough, but it's essential to peace, joy, and self-respect. And it's the big B word that has been going around. And what is that? Boundaries.
Boundaries. I was wondering what you were gonna say. I'm like, what B word? Sorry, that was such a dad joke. But yes, boundaries. We're going to explore what boundaries really are and how to set them from a place of self honoring and love and not fear or avoidance. I think people have a lot of fear when it comes to setting boundaries, and also they can be
Mhm.
really strict and kind of set boundaries without care. So, I feel like we're going to have a pretty interesting conversation about it today. So I'm looking forward to it. But I hope
Speak
folks
on it.
leave having a lot more clarity of what their boundaries might look like and how to set them in a more comfortable way.
Yes, speak on it, speak on it. And also, boundaries don't have to mean like cutting people off either. Like, it can be an invitation to healthier relationships. But hopefully, by the end of today's chat, we'll be able to leave you with a little bit more clarity, some language, and tools to confidently stand in your yes or your no. So, without guilt too, because we
Without
know that
guilt.
guilt be coming up. I know it does for me. So,
Yeah, we'll get into
but
it.
um, are you ready?
I'm ready.
We have some good news to
Oh,
share.
we do have some good news to share.
I'm so excited for us. Okay,
Oh,
so before we get into the episode, we have something to tell y'all. And that something is first, we're going to be moving from IG Live and transitioning to YouTube. Oh, sorry, transitioning to a podcast that will
transition
be on
to a
YouTube.
podcast. So we'll be on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify,
Period.
all the things. We're
Period.
moving
Period.
on up, y'all.
We are moving on up. Okay, so that means better audio, better video quality, and just a better space where we can have these conversations, and you guys can just reach us far and wide. Okay.
Far and wide. Yeah, I'm so excited. And speaking of elevation, we're also embracing a new name. We are going to be moving from Life Be Lifin' to Muse and Be Well. Oh my God. I should do the drum roll.
I know. I know. I know. I know.
Muse
I
and Be
know.
Well.
Clap,
Same
clap, clap, clap,
heart,
clap.
same honesty, just expanded vision that blends inspiration, aka muse, and whole person wellness, aka be well. So we're blending our two brands together and our two expertise, I will say, into this podcast, and it'll still kind of have the same flavor as Life Be Life in, but under this beautiful name. I'm so excited.
Period. So make sure to follow Muse and Be Well on IG and hit that subscribe button on YouTube, so you don't miss any future episodes that we're going to have. Um, just FYI, in August, we're going to take a break and then we're coming back as Muse and Be Well in September. So,
Yeah, yeah. We're coming
welcome to the
back.
party, okay?
Stay with us. Stay with us.
Okay, now that we have the lovely, exciting news out the way, let's get into our grounding moment. So, if anyone has essential oils handy, take them out, put a drop in your palm. If you need like a carrier oil or some lotion, be sure to use that as well so that um, you don't get itchy and stuff. It irritates you. Um, so, yeah, get it, girl. Come on, Misha.
I'm really into it now. Like, I'm so glad you put me onto this. I'm like ready. Like, come on.
So we're gonna make a tent with our fingers, put them over our nose. Just take a couple of deep breaths in and out, in and out. Last one in and out. Now we're going to get into some triangle breathing, but we're inhale for 4 seconds, hold for four, and then exhale for four. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly. 4, 3, 2, 1. This is your reminder that you're allowed to take up space, you're allowed to slow down, and you're allowed to take care of yourself. So,
Oh, thank you so much, Taylor. You need to like do this in your stories, like I don't know, every Monday or something, because you need to be guiding us, child. Thank you.
I'll consider that.
Yes, thank you.
But okay, let's dive into our lovely conversation. So, according to Psychology Today, boundaries are limits individuals establish to define their personal space, emotional well being, and relationships. They help distinguish between oneself and others and dictate what is acceptable or unacceptable behavior in various contexts. Boundaries can be physical, emotional, or mental and are crucial for maintaining personal integrity, healthy relationships, and overall well being. So, with that said, Misha, why do you think boundaries can be so hard to set?
I think it starts with family. Like especially as African Americans, and I'm sure Latinos deal with this too. The Asian community, family, we are usually coming from a tight knit community. So we're used to our auntie and uncle just like showing up at the house and your mom just kind of like spinning into action or your grandma spinning into action, like, oh, okay, let me cook for you. Let me do this. Let me do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or parents like busting into rooms, and so we are kind of taught that like, yeah, so whatever, like, come in, come out, do what you need to do. I also think as women we put a lot of our worth and respect in ourselves as
Mm-hmm.
relates to like people needing us. So the more that we are needed, the more worthy we feel, and setting boundaries around that can feel very scary because you feel like you might lose a core piece of you. Like if you are the person that everyone comes to or people lean on, to
Mm-hmm.
get to a point where you're just like, I need to step away from this, but I feel too afraid because I don't want to hurt anyone or lose anyone. I think that's kind of the conversation that's being had. But what we need to realize that like there is kind of a loss every time we set a boundary, right?
Yeah.
But you always have to remember like what is gained as you do that as well. For you, maybe
Mm-hmm.
you're gaining peace, maybe you're building more self-respect for yourself. So you might
Mm-hmm.
lose something when you set boundaries, but you do gain something in return.
Period.
Period.
Period. No, but I love what you said about just reflecting on what is it that you're gaining versus what is it that you're losing. Because I think a lot of us um, tend to focus on the negative versus the positive. And so I like to encourage myself and even other people around me to ensure that what perspective shift can you be doing? Like, what mindset shift can you have in order to think from one end to the opposite?
Yeah. And it's just remembering your why as you do. Like when you're
Yeah.
setting the boundary, like why are you setting that boundary for yourself? So when you have that little moment of being like, ah, just remember that why. Come back down and trust yourself. I'm always gonna be like, trust yourself, baby. You know.
I get you. I get you. Okay. So boundaries are often described as being rigid or porous, um, or loose, you could
Yeah,
say. Um, what advice would you give to help folks find a healthy middle ground?
yeah. And it is. And it's especially like I'm a pretty chill person. So like I'll set a boundary, and like maybe there's a couple of times where I'm like very hard set on the boundary. And then after all, it's like, well, you know what? I trust you. It's no biggie. Like I'm going to move on. But I think like even with that, we have to parse out, are we setting these boundaries from a place of like what our values are, what our beliefs are, things of that matter? Or are we setting boundaries as it relates to our unresolved trauma, which is
Mm,
okay, right? But I think when we're setting it from a place of unresolved trauma, I think we kind of have to find a little bit of balance of how people might react to that, how you react to it, and like figuring out what's kind of fair. Um,
mm-hmm,
and I think that those are the situations where you might need to explain a little bit more where the boundary is coming from. You know what I mean?
mm. Yeah. Okay.
So
So, what
mhm,
does that look like for somebody?
what it looks like to explain like why you're setting the
Hmm.
boundary. I'll give an example.
Okay. Let's have examples.
So my core, I'm about to be vulnerable with you guys. My core insecurity is feeling like I'm not smart. Um, just, I failed the seventh grade. I was a C student. Um, I didn't like reading growing up. I didn't start reading until I was in middle school. Like, I mean, obviously I knew how to read,
Hmm.
I did not read books really until middle school. So I just kind of felt like I was very behind. And
Mm,
so when friends would be like, "Oh, you so stupid, girl," but like saying, like, let's say, like, I'm also a silly girl. So like, if I'm saying something that's funny, a joke, and so I'm like, "Oh, girl, you so stupid," that kind of bothered me. I'm like, "What you mean I'm stupid?"
hmm.
And that was like a big like thing for me in my 20s. That was a big insecurity for me in my 20s. So I had to tell people like, "Hey, that actually hurts my feelings. I don't feel good. It kind of like it bothers me when you say that." And well, actually, to be honest, I think I probably said it a lot more harshly than that. I actually think I probably said like, "Don't say that." And then I think the friend was like, "Well, what's going on here?" And then I did explain, like, it's a sore thing for me. And they never touched it again. And they'll bring up, like, I remember that one time you told me don't call you stupid, and I ain't never said it again. And it's to the point now where I'm like, I told you that? I don't even remember. Like, it's not a thing for me anymore.
Hmm.
That was an unresolved trauma, and um now it is resolved. I don't really care. Like I am who I am, and I know that I'm intelligent in the way that I'm intelligent, and the way that God set me up to be intelligent. Um,
Period. Because you are.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
So that's kind of how that's like the difference, right? Like when you're setting up these unresolved trauma, just like you have to be able to know why you're setting it. I think is
Mm,
wrap it all up. Like I think you have to understand why you're setting it. And again, if it is unresolved, I think you need to communicate that. And if it's based on your values and your beliefs, I think you just got to stand on business when it comes to that. It just is what it is, right?
yeah. Yeah. I
Yep.
love that. I think that that's a good tool to walk away with. Um, okay, let's get into guilt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
So, after we set a boundary, guilt can creep in. So, what's a mindset, reframe, or practice that could help people stay rooted in their decision?
Yeah, I have definitely felt guilt. Like I always kind of have a moment like, was that mean? Did I do too much? Was that rational? I'm a Libra moon, so I think that that plays. I'm always like worried about the other side, and I think that you have to remember that that is like a sign of over functioning a little bit when you're putting so much weight into what other people might feel about
Mm,
the boundaries that you're setting. When you're caring so much about what your boundary, how your boundary is impacting that person. Okay,
hmm.
what about you? You like you said it for a reason. Like you have needs too, and you have to take care of yourself more than anything, right? Because you really can't take care of anyone else if you can't take care of yourself. So you
Period.
have to recenter yourself in that moment when you're feeling guilt. You have to put yourself back at the center of like, wait, no, I matter too. My feelings
Hmm.
matter too. And trust that they can regulate themselves. If you set a boundary and they don't like it, they can figure that out. They'll call their other friend and complain about you. And you got to let that be. And you take care of yourself. And and again, I keep saying this, but remember the why of why you set the boundary. There's a reason why you set it. And
Hmm.
honestly, at the end of the day, and I know we'll get into this a little later, but if the person is struggling to respect your boundary, then that's a sign. Maybe it's a red flag. Um, And maybe you need to not put yourself in positions to where they can hurt that boundary. I'll stop it there because I know we're going to get into that a little bit more, but I just wanted to sneak peek that.
Listen, listen, people will be trying to test you, okay?
Mhm.
Um,
I have some questions for you though.
okay.
What's a boundary that you've had to set recently that felt hard but necessary?
Ooh. Um, so I think with this interesting transition in my life right now, um, I am trying to be less outside
Yeah.
and really hone in and focus on what it is that I need to do. I think for the past, what year is this, 2025? I
Hmm.
think maybe for the past like 3 to 4 years, God has been telling me, like, girl, you need to focus in, like, you need to lock in, like, you need to, like, isolate yourself, like, focus in and lock in. And I didn't listen. And then he put me in a situation to where I had to listen. And
Hmm.
so,
Every time. He'll do it every time.
listen. And so now that just looks like kind of just me saying no to like outside things. It's more so like drinking, going to a bar, or going to
But
parties
you're
and stuff
also
like
saving
that.
money.
Yeah, that part. Because but yeah, I think it's hard. Well, first of all, it's summertime. Everybody want to be outside. It's hot. You know, the days are gorgeous. This is the time to be outside
In
versus having
LA.
seasonal depression in the wintertime.
Yep.
Um, but I've really been focused just on like um, staying inside more, or even if I do go outside, it's like um,
Doing
doing
it.
things that are in alignment with my goals.
Yeah.
So the other day, I went to this event called Read the Room at this Black-owned bookstore
Hmm.
called Rep Club in LA. It's where a whole bunch of people are in the room just reading separately but together. My family laughed at me for
I
that,
want to go
but
there.
I
Like
was
the
like, this
vibe.
is the perfect introverted event. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so like if I do go outside, it's like that, or going to a park to read, or
Yeah.
catch up with a friend, or like maybe going over to my homegirl's house. Like every Wednesday, my cousin Shelby and I, we have a working day. So Wednesdays are our work days. She works, I work, then we go work out. So that's what I'm transitioning more into, and a boundary that I have to set for myself of you need to make sure that you're focusing on yourself and being in alignment with um, the goals that you need to achieve. So
How are your friends receiving that, like that new side of you of like, all right, y'all, I'm locking in a little bit differently. Like, if you want to hang out with me, you can meet me at the place to read. You can meet me to do yoga. Like, how are they receiving that?
they're receiving it well because I think we're all so majority of my friend group is was in DC,
Mhm.
and it was my girlies, um,
Hey,
Keeks
girlies.
and Kate and Bricks, and but no, I think we're all in the same transition, um, you know,
Yeah,
and in life, and we're focused on like doing the things that we need to do. So we're all on the same page of understanding like where each other are and what we need to do. And we're
yeah,
all very supportive of one another. So,
that's
um,
beautiful. That's a green flag. Like
yeah,
that.
but even like my friends that are in different states, I have a best friend, Mila, she lives in Atlanta. Like I have a best friend that's in LA, like Ashe. We all are understanding of each other because we're all just in different phases of our lives, and we can just come to an understanding of like this is where you're at, this is where I'm at, um, and there's no love lost of anything. It's just
Where
supporting,
you're at.
honestly.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And that's like a standard for friendships, I believe, when you're able to just let your friend be. Because I think that's like the hardest part when it comes to like when you start to switch it up a little bit. Like it's difficult. I think it's difficult to like say it, and it's difficult to like keep the boundaries going. And I remember, so I was 30 or 20. I think I was like 30 when I started to like come inside. I was like, if you want to hang out with me, get on my couch and watch some TV with me, or we can go out to dinner. Like that's how you can hang, or we can go on a walk. And I kind of lost a couple of friends through that because they still wanted to go out. They wanted to be outside, so they weren't really reaching out to me anymore because like
Mm,
that's not what they want. Like I wasn't doing what they wanted to do. But that's okay. Like it's okay if friends are like, okay, well that lifestyle doesn't work for me anymore. I'm gonna go into this direction. Because I did have friends who did get on the couch with me, who did go on walks with me, and that made me very happy. So I'm gonna focus in on that. So just remember that, friends. If you're kind of, again, if you're afraid of like losing something, just remember that, like, yeah, you might, but then you
mm-hmm.
know who's like really fits for you. Like you, Taylor, like you know that no matter what city you go to, you know the girls are gonna get it for you. And I love that.
Yeah,
Um,
my girls in my family.
yeah. So how are you staying committed to your boundaries, even when things get uncomfortable?
I think it's going back to what you were saying earlier. Is like, what is my why? Um, right. And so, like, I will, if I'm having a hard time, um, battling with something that's outside of my boundary, I'll take a moment to pause and reflect and be like, okay, Taylor, like, why are you having a hard time trying to make a decision? What what's your why? Go back to your why. Go back to your why, and
Right.
then I meditate on it, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Now we can go to now we can like get back on track, you know,
Yep.
because sometimes I think that like anxiety comes up for me, and I'll be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I was like, no, let's take a moment to breathe and recenter and go back to your why, and from there we can just like take a beat.
Take a beat. And in the end, stay 10 toes down for you. Because when you go against your boundaries, you're abandoning yourself. You
Yes,
you're like, okay, I choose this person over me. I choose their needs over my needs. Don't stop
yes,
abandoning yourself. You can't do that. We can't afford that. Not in Trump's
yes,
America. You gotta
girl.
stay
Period.
10 toes
Period.
down for you. But also, like, be fair, right? Like, I actually was listening to Set Boundaries, Find Peace, and she was talking about like some people's like rigid boundaries can be like, I'm never giving none of my people money. I'm never giving out money. Someone asks me for money, it's just no, that's my boundary. But like, what if there's a friend who really does need the money and you know that like they're not the type of friend that is going to take from you or not pay you back? Like you trust this person in any other space. But when it comes to, I think that's something you might want to negotiate, right? Because you still do love your community and you want to show up for your community. You don't want to isolate and like have so much boundary that like people can't really come to you at all. So I think there's space to like be fair and negotiate a little bit, but overall, when it comes to your values, your beliefs, things of that nature, you don't self-abandon yourself.
Yeah, and I always think it's about compromise. What you were saying too, but like adding on to it, like compromising um, with your boundaries. So I was reading like an example somewhere that was saying like um, if your coworkers like go out to like get, let's just say like Starbucks every morning or something like that, and you're really trying to save on money, what does it look like for you to still be in community with them, versus being like, no, I don't want to go to Starbucks, because I'm trying to save money. But it could look like maybe you just go to Starbucks once a week with them,
Or
you know,
you bring your own coffee to the coffee
that
shop.
part, and then maybe still go on a walk with them. Like it could look like different things, right? Because I
Yeah.
think that, like, I know for me in my friend group or even like my family, like a lot of either my family or best friends, like they have kids right now, right? So things are going to look different. Like my cousin has a kid, my cousin Jazz has a kid, my best friend Mila has a kid, my best friend Ashe has a kid. So, sometimes um, navigating those relationships are going to look different because they have a kid. And so sometimes that looks like me saying, hey, do you want to do this? Or like the other day, I told my cousin, I'm like, hey, if you want to go to this activity, like I'll watch Zani for you,
Mhm.
um, you know, just so that she can have some time. But Anyways, that's kind of like going off on tangent.
No, but it brought up something for me because I just when we talk about like communicating boundaries, so Allie, who I think is on there, Alex, my girl, she set me up on a friend blind date, and me and the girl vibe. She is a mom, and so I asked a question of like, what do you need as a friend? Um, which I think that like that is like that begins like a boundary conversation, because what she said is
Mm-hmm.
like, I need my friends to understand that I'm not going to be able to, show up all the time, or I'm a mom first, basically. Like, I'm a mom first, that's my focus. I'm gonna show up when I can, I'm gonna be there when I can, but like just understand that if I can't, it's because of the kid. And I hear that, I respect that. So we've been trying to hang out since then, and meet for coffee. And so she's like, oh, I got the kid today. Da, da, da. So I was just like, I'm comfortable if you bring the kid with you, actually. And she's like, yeah, I think that might work too. So like I'm not going to, because there was a time where like I think we like maybe canceled twice on each other, and I'm not gonna be like, she ain't got time for me because she got kids, and she
Mm-hmm.
it ain't gonna work out. I'm just like, let's figure this out, girl. Just bring the kid if you want to bring the kid. I'm cool with it. Let's do it. I'll be auntie. And so
I'm all the other time, so I get it.
so that's that flexibility. And like the point that I was actually trying to make is that we if you're on the receiving end of a boundary or like an understanding of a person, please just like be flexible and work with it. Or if you can't, then like, okay, cool, maybe we're not fit. Like, I think that happens in dating, right? Like
Yeah.
where if you just can't work with the boundary that the person is setting, then you guys can like agree to like move on, not ghost,
Mm-hmm.
not ghost, but just agree that we're not a good fit, and that's okay. Because like when she said that I'm not gonna be able to show up for you, I can't be that girl, that's okay, because I got friends who are that girl for me. We can just be hanging out friends and like work together. Like, not everyone has to be everything to you. I can go on a tangent about this, but
No saying. No saying. But I also want to say too that like your friendships are going to look, or your relationships with people in general are going to look different, like because we all are going through different things at different times. And so like you may be up with in a relationship, and that just speaks as a whole for everybody, right? But you may have like your downs, and then you go up and then you go down. So like your friend just may not be um the type of support that you need right now, but
mhm,
later on, maybe she can be, when she has more
absolutely.
bandwidth.
Mhm.
And so I think not only do, if people are struggling to assert their own boundaries, it's also very important to be understanding of other people's boundaries as well.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Um,
That's what
so,
makes communicating boundaries easier for everyone, right? That's how you create
yeah.
a safe space. When I'm able to set a boundary, you receive it, and vice versa. Now we know that we can communicate clearly. I can feel safe with you. I know you won't judge me, but also give us kind of what you were alluding to about how people have down times and up times, right? So like there were a
Hmm.
couple of years where I was just in my house. So yeah, if you want to hang out with me, you got to come to my house. But now I'm trying to go to concert. So if you hit me about a concert, I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's go to a concert. So you got to let people evolve and change, and like don't be like, well,
Yeah.
I thought he was inside. Okay, well, I'm outside now.
Yeah.
Okay, will you receive me?
Because we all growing, okay?
We're
Let
growing, we're
me tell
figuring
you.
it
Let me
out.
tell you. I try to respect my little sister's boundary. She'll be telling me no, and I'm like, okay, girl, I respect your no.
My nephew, this is like a generational thing, because my nephew, he was like in a not good mood, and my dad was like, "What's up with you? Why you mad?" And he was like, "I don't want to talk about it right now." And my dad, who's a boomer, was like, "Who you think you talking to?" Like, he got into him, and my mom and like they were looking at me later like, I can't believe he said that. And I was like, I honestly didn't feel like there was anything wrong with him saying he didn't want to talk about it. He's just communicating a boundary. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly,
Like,
him talking about it at that moment, did like y'all talking about it did not make things better. So maybe we
no.
could have disrespected it. He would have opened up later, maybe.
Yeah, it's gonna make them reclude and like I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. No, you gotta be the safe space for the
Gotta be the safe
kids.
space. Gotta be the
You
safe
gotta be a
space.
safe space for the kids and the adults too, because adults are just grown children.
We're parenting our adults right now. Honestly, we all are. Raise your hand if you're parenting your parents.
Okay. So, Misha, two more questions for you.
Oh, two? Okay.
Language matters. How can we communicate a boundary clearly and lovingly without over explaining or apologizing for it?
You asked me that already.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Are you sure?
I'm so sure.
No, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I've been like, Taylor, you've been asking me all these expert questions. I'm gonna recommend a book, y'all.
This girl.
Set boundaries, find peace.
Oh,
I'm
God.
gonna give you all the tools. I'm just kidding. Okay. How do we communicate lovingly? You have to come at it not from a place of anger. If you do come from a
Mm.
place of anger, because I'll be honest, I'm a Leo, so I'm fire. So when like a thing comes up for me, I just say it. And it's not always calm. So I want to be honest about that. Um, but I think you do have to just be direct about it. Like, hey, this thing doesn't bother me. This thing does not work. I know you don't do it to hurt me, right? Be fair,
Mhm.
communicate care. Don't come in it as like accusatory, right? Or like they're the villain in your story. If this is the person you love and you know that they love you, don't come at it accusatory. Don't come at it like they're the villain of the story. You gotta speak from a place of like understanding, um, helping them understand where you're coming from. Again, you don't have to overexplain. Like it really can be like, hey, when I was 5, um, my parents locked me in a closet and now I can't be like, it can be that. It can be. Um, but again, make sure that it's coming from a place of like understanding and not, begging. Because I think that's what the over explaining comes from, where you start to like over function and beg, like, please understand me. Please understand where I'm coming from. Please, please. It don't have to be all that. You should have respect for yourself, right? Have love for yourself, have love for the person, understand that they want to be in your presence and be in your life, and so communicate like, in order to be in my life, in order to work with me, this is how you show up for me. Does that sound fair?
Mhm.
How does that,
No,
am I missing something?
no. I think that you touched on all good points. Honestly, I do.
I love it.
Because
I
I'm
love
working on that myself because I'm a Scorpio and I can tend to be fiery too, a real stinger. Um, and but sometimes I bottle a lot of stuff in, and then that's when the stinger comes out.
it. Yes.
And I'm working on not doing that. And like me and my homeboy had to have a conversation because we were just not seeing eye to eye, and we had to have a conversation and be like, okay, well, what do I need from this friendship? What does he need from this friendship? And a part of that was me communicating how I felt within a 24 to 48-hour time span. Um, because sometimes I don't do that. So that's something I'm working on. Right.
Good.
And
Good.
so in those moments, I'm like, okay, if I don't, just in general, like if I'm not feeling, um, something doesn't feel right to where somebody's treating me, because I also think that boundaries, you set boundaries based on how you want to be treated and how
Yeah.
you want to feel,
Yeah.
right, in relation with people. And so sometimes when people do things to me, I'll take a moment to be like, does this really bother me or does it not? And sometimes it takes me a while to process. So that 24 to 48 hours is a good time frame for me. And I'm like, if I'm still kind of feeling like I don't like that afterward, then I'll try to communicate that.
That's
Um,
good. Yeah. No, that's good because so my thing these days is, if a thing bugs me in the moment, I just say it. But usually once I say it, I don't, I kind of like, okay, I said it and I move on. I feel good about it. Like, we can talk about it, we can move on. But because I come in with heat, I think it takes the other person a little longer to like catch up to like my heat. You know what I mean? And so then I'm like kind of feeling bad, like, all right, I came off a little too strong, but I don't really care anymore. I don't mind anymore. So now you don't put your energy onto them. And so that's where the guilt comes from for me. I'm like, oh man, I don't make this person feel bad. But we talk about it, and like, I'm open to like, be like, my bad, girl. I just needed you to not do that no more. It was bothering me. But that, again, that comes from like long-term relationships, trust, and
Yeah.
understanding. Like, I mean what I say, and I don't mean anything underneath it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so.
I get it. Okay. Last question. If other people aren't willing to respect the boundary you set, how does someone still hold that boundary? Because there's some gaslighters and manipulators out there that would try to
They
get
just
you
don't.
from doing what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, one is when someone isn't respecting your boundary, please let that reflect them, just them. Don't, take it as, oh, they don't respect me. They don't care about me. I'm not enough to be considered in this way. Like, don't put, like, just separate that, right? That they have like their own story going on about why they don't respect boundaries or why they don't understand boundaries. That's something they got to work out. If it's deep enough for you to like deal with that person, then like I respect that and y'all can figure that out. Um, but I think there's multiple ways, right? Like, I think maybe you can downgrade the relationship a little bit, like kind of how I alluded to earlier about like,
Mm.
okay, well, I'm just not going to put myself in positions for you to cross that boundary with me, right? I had a friend who I was spending the night with her, and a boy was coming over, and I was like, okay, well, like she was kind of alluding to like, don't come home. Don't come home. And I'm like, okay, well, if I can I pick up something? Can I get my hair wrapped? Can I do? And she ignored me. Baby, we talked about it, and she wasn't really understanding what the issue was. She was like, well, okay, okay, you don't understand. Well, never spend the night by your house anymore, right? We're still cool. We
Mhm.
still like, I'm not spending the night by your house anymore because you don't. So I think that those are little ways where like it don't have to always be them. It could just be like, okay, well, this thing is no longer for you. Then I can't trust you in this way. And I think that again, it does come down to trust, right? If I
Yeah.
can't trust you to show up for me in this way, then I won't expect you to show
Hmm.
up for me in this way. And I mean, what the book would say though, what set boundaries and find peace would say is to name the boundary again of like, hey, this is a boundary that I've given you, and I'm asking you again to respect it. You can do that as well. You can remind them because some people do forget. Like I had a boss who had. I'm sorry I keep giving y'all examples, but these are kind of fun examples. I
No,
hope.
these are good.
But I had a boss who his trigger was if I said like, let me finish, that was a trigger for him. And so I did it once before I knew it was a trigger. And he got off the phone with me. He was so upset. We ain't talked for like 48 hours. And then he came back and was like, that's a boundary for me. Da, 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 da. So like 9 months later, we're on like a team call, and I'm going through some things, and he, starts to say it. And I don't remember the moment completely, but I remember kind of feeling like if he cuts in this moment, I'm going to lose what's happening. So I feel like I said something like, 1 second, let me just da da da. And unbeknownst to me, that was his last straw. Like he was not like he was done. He felt like I was rude for doing that. Da, 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 da. And I bring that up is because like I didn't even think about that was like that I was doing that in the moment. You know what I mean?
But then also, like,
Yeah.
was he cutting you off? That was rude.
Yes, I know that is the thing. He is just, and I'm just like, please don't cut me off. Actually. But that's a whole, but that's like the unresolved trauma thing, right? Like you do have
Mhm.
to like find some ration. Like you gotta gotta accept that. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to keep my train of thought. Please, just hold 1 second, please. No, okay.
Yeah.
That's my boundary for you to hold 1 second. Okay.
I mean, I can understand that, right? But also, like, this is a good example of what is the word that I'm looking for? I guess picking and choosing battles, because you also have to realize the part that you're playing.
Mhm.
And so you can't have this big. well, let me not say somebody can't have, but it is unfair for you to have this big moment um, when you're also doing something rude.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I'm believing at that, but
Yeah. Well, I don't work there anymore, y'all. So I freed myself. I freed myself. And that's again, that's my boundary now. I'm like, well, oh my God.
listen, because anyway, we're gonna move on from that.
Yeah.
But
Are
this
we
was such a good, fruitful conversation. I'm loving it.
it was different, right? I feel like it's a different angle around boundaries.
Yeah.
So I hope it was fun. If folks have any questions, feel free to drop it by. I see Angeline boundaries to allow for bad behavior. Oh, Angeline, don't get us started because
What she say?
she said boundaries. Let me go back and look at it. Boundaries to allow for bad behavior. And again, that's real. Like,
Mm,
yeah. I think we got to be aware of that. We don't have to like dig too deep into it, but I do think we need to be aware of like why we're setting the boundaries and is it fair or because we just understand therapy speak that we're just like, well, it's a boundary, so period. Like not all boundaries are necessary boundaries. Like, Trump is building a wall. Is that like a necessary boundary? I don't know. Okay, let me stop. Um
oop. And I oop.
yeah.
um, but yeah, drop some questions in the chat, y'all, if y'all have any. But while we wait for people to drop some questions in, Misha, do you have anything exciting that you want to share that's going on in your world? Let the people know.
Yes. I launched the alignment session. It's a session that I've been wanting to do since I started coaching, and it's a 90-minute part coaching, part strategy session where we get in and figure out, help you. Um, Reframe some of the narratives that you've been holding back. Like my narrative used to be, I didn't feel smart. I reframed that narrative for myself now. Then we help you reclaim your vision and your values. And then at the end, we leave off with an action plan for you to achieve your goals. So link in bio if you want to learn more about it. But I love it. The alignment session. What about you, Taylor? What you got going on?
Yes. First of all, can I just say how proud I am of you? Like,
Thank you.
I'm so proud. And y'all, if you get the funds, okay, to invest, because I mean, I did the life coaching session, and the alignment session is just like a shorter version of what the life coaching session would be. And when I tell you, Misha has helped me transform. Like I am a living example. Okay, so invest, 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 invest in yourself. That's the most important thing that you can do is invest in yourself. So I'm gonna just say that.
Thank you. This is not a paid ad, guys. I promise. I
It's
did
not.
not mean to say that.
It's not. You said, what do I have going on? What do I
Yes.
have going on? I am working on getting some sound math classes together for August. So if you are in the LA area, be keep your eyes to the streets, okay? Or ears to the streets. What's it saying? I don't know.
Ears.
But you get what I'm trying to say.
Ears.
Ears to the streets, okay? On when that will be. So it'll be
You should
sometime in
come to
August.
Dallas so I can join in. They be looking so peaceful. Even when you let us do the breath work, like I was in a zone. So if y'all are in
Listen,
any city that Taylor's doing it, I recommend it highly.
yeah, the
We
last
did
one in
it.
Atlanta, the people saw um some people saw colors, and I was like, yes, you're activating your chakras.
Really? That's what
So
that
excited.
means?
Yeah,
I want it. Can we do an
and
online
some
one?
other things too, but yeah, we absolutely could.
Okay, thank you. We did get she's good, y'all. We did get one question.
Okay.
How do you set boundaries in the workplace? That's hard.
Ooh.
It is hard. You do have to, I think that it's worth communicating boundaries. Um, but I also think you have to really understand the job that you're walking into. So if you just automatically, like, if you're a person who knows that you want to be offline at a certain time, or you like sick days are important to you, or games are important to you, all of those things, I think that that kind of needs to be a conversation on the front end of getting hired, and also understanding like the job that you're walking to, like, is that something that they're going to respect? um Understanding the manager that you're walking into, are they strict, are they flexible? Just like the more you know and understand what you're walking into, and the more that they understand what your vibe is, I think that sets it up to be fair and understanding. So I think most boundaries should be set up on the front end so there's not any confusion. Um, I hired someone working on a campaign. And if anyone who's worked on a campaign knows that, like, you work every day, but he had never worked on a campaign before. So I hired him, and he was shook to find out that I expected him to work every day. And fair enough, because I didn't articulate that in the interview that we will be working. It's a presidential campaign, mind you, but I did not set that expectation in the interview of like, you will be expected to work every day. It'll be long hours. I didn't have that conversation. So that's my bad. So when he found out that he had to work every day, he was like, I'm good, actually. I'm going to just head out. Fair. And that's a lesson for me. And so the next time I had that conversation, it was like, I did communicate that. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
Just do it on the front end. And if you have to do it, in between the job, you have to have a boss that's flexible, because honestly, like, there are some bosses don't give a F and will be like, oh, you want boundaries? Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna find somebody else who don't care about boundaries. That is that. But I think it's important for us to like not just like, and that's a lesson for all of us, but like not to take a job that is not going to fit your lifestyle. You have to know about that on the front
Yeah.
end.
But also too, in moments to where you're feeling overwhelmed, I think it's okay to communicate like your bandwidth is full. And you
Yeah.
can say it just like that.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Ooh.
Like I wish I could tackle this right now for you, but my bandwidth is full. Or you can look at it from the lens of, okay, um, these are my priorities right now. Is one of these things something I need to deprioritize in order to do that? Um, if you like are wanting to be a helpful hand, but yeah, again, going back to like, how do you want to be treated? How do you want to be treated in your workplace? Sometimes you have to like assert those things. Not those things, assert yourself to be like, hey, like I can't do it right now. And that's okay.
Mhm.
So you're gonna find somebody else to do it. You can do some things, right? Still be a good team player, but also like know when to reel it back.
And I think it's helpful to your manager when you say, I don't have the capacity for it, instead of being like, I can take
Mm-hmm.
it, and then you really
Mm-hmm.
hold it.
Yeah.
So that communication part is important for everyone. So don't avoid that, trying to
Yeah.
protect yourself, because you're not really protecting yourself in the end.
Yep. Because then when you do communicate that and you communicate it enough and other people are communicating that, they can see that it's an organizational issue and not a you thing, right?
Yep.
Which means that you need to hire more people. And that's not my problem.
Period. Well, as we wrap up, we want to leave you with a reflection. And that reflection is, where am I being invited to honor myself more deeply? I'm going to drop that into the chat so you guys can see it. Where am I being invited to honor myself more deeply? So that's in your life, in your community, in all those ways. So when you guys journal on that, message me and let me know what comes up for you, because I want to know. You can message Sarah
Ooh.
too.
Ooh. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, y'all, if this episode spoke to you, please don't be afraid to share it, DM us, all the things. And don't forget to subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Muse and Be Well, and follow us on IG at Muse and Be Well. Okay?
We will see you
Because
guys
we're
in
coming back
September.
for you in September as Muse and Be Well. Oh, 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 oh. Go, Misha girl. Hey, 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 Misha girl. Hey, hey.
Why are you looking so serious? I'm like, hold up. Let me get to it. Okay.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for evolving with us. Until next time, peace and be well.
Peace and be well.